Shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and Shalom. To the hopefully like brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, the 144,000, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai. This is your brother Adah with another lesson on the man of sin. Check this out, man. You see it? Let me see. The title of this, New World Order Quotes, a compilation. You got to notice the race of people who are speaking, the span of time that they were speaking it over, okay? And you got to understand this precept, or this is the Apostle Paul, or the Apostle John, the Prophet John, 1 John 2:8, little children. It is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. Renaissance Western Christianity does not and will not ever speak the correct truth of the scriptures, because it was set up not to. All right. Plus, the mysteries of the Bible, the mysteries of the precepts of the prophecies are specifically held, sealed, and only opened up to the hopeful elect men of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, who are Hebrew Israelite men. Okay, the precepts tell you plainly. Let me hold up. Oops, I got the wrong. 1 John, not. Here we go, 18. So look, and we gotta prove all things, right? We always gotta prove this stuff because different people hear the lessons and, oh, that's not true. Well, look what it says. I believe it's what he shows his word. He shows his word. He shows his word to Jacob, his statutes. Bam! Look. And we know one of the names of Yahushua is Word, so this also applies to his son. This is Psalms 147:19. He shows his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Israel and Jacob are the same people. It's the same race, same 12 tribes, same seed line. There's no one else involved in this. Look, verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, those nations that he has not dealt with have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. These two precepts right there, I mean, there's so many, but these disqualify any other race of people to go around the world and teach the scriptures. And who went around the world teaching Renaissance Western Christianity? Esau, the so-called white man. And how convenient, at the same time, the government of America is doing what? They're doing this. They're talking about the New World Order.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror.
And remember, Billy Graham was best friends with fucking George Bush. How is that possible? How could King David be best friends with a fucking Philistine? Or an Amalekite, or just any Ammon, or a Moabite, or any type of heathen king? How could the prophet Daniel be best friends with one of the magicians in the Babylonian kingdom? It doesn't make any fucking sense, you guys. He was exalted. He was used to interpret what they couldn't interpret. But is there any record? Is there any record of Daniel in the Babylonian Empire being best friends with any of the Chaldeans, who were your wise men, which are your high-ranking witches on the left-hand side? There's no record of it. There's no record of King David being best friends with a witch or with a wise man in another kingdom. And you can say this with Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all Habakkuk, all Micah, all of the men of Yahweh. There are no records of them being best friends with each other. Yet, you got this motherfucker being best friends with Billy Graham, and Billy Graham was a world famous Edomite preacher, a so-called white man, filling up stadiums, telling the world about a white Jesus. Once you start putting this all together, it starts to fall apart, man. Check this out.
Stronger in the pursuit of justice.
Salakia, one more. I got to get that precept again. Hold on. Look, John, 1 and 2, verse 18. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, that's plural, whereby we know that it is the last time. And so Renaissance Western Christianity has taken that word and butchered it, right? And made it sound like it's something it's not. It's a Nephilim. The Antichrist is a man that's half angel, half fallen angel, half human. It's one man. And him by himself is going to, no, dude, no, that's not what it is. The adversary of the Messiah. That is an incorrect. See, the adversary, but the adversary of the Messiah is a race of people. It's the man of sin. The man of sin is talking about a nation known as the wicked, the border of wickedness, and the upper echelon rulership of that nation would be working on the left-hand side to prevent Yahushua from ruling. That's what the Battle of Armageddon is. The war in heaven is that one man? No, it's a whole army of people getting directions and instructions from who? A rulership of people. Okay? Antichrist. Let's go down to 50. The adversary, see, they're saying that that's the same thing. That it's an individual, but it's not. It's a race. It's a race of people. Let me see. I'm going to let that video play. It's the last time. It's the last. Let me see. Extreme, last in time or in place, last in a series of places, last in a temporal succession. So this is talking about the end times, right? Referring to time, of space, the uttermost part of the end of the earth. And the end of the earth, see, this is key. You got to understand this. Where was the Bible written when it was written? It was written in Western Asia, the place they renamed Middle East, right? On the other side of the planet, over on the top part of Africa, on the top part of the continent of Africa, over by Europe, right? That's Western Asia. So when the Most High, when prophecy is being spoken, when it talks about the end times, it's also including a geographical movement from the Hebrew Israelites when they were writing the prophecies. So that's what this means too. It is the last time, meaning we're on the other side of the earth, because by this time we would have been scattered to the four corners. That's also part of prophecy, that we would be scattered to the four corners of the earth. And that includes the last time, that we would all end up from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet. You got to understand this. And America is where we landed in the transatlantic slave trade, and that lines up with Joel chapter 3 and Deuteronomy 28. We discontinued from our heritage. I believe that's in Jeremiah, or that's in Isaiah. I'm paraphrasing. All of these prophecies line up, and it backs up this too. In reference to time, look, the last, number 2, last referring to time, B, of space, the uttermost parts, the end of the earth. When Yahushua is in the book of Acts saying, you will be a witness unto me to the ends of the earth, that same definition is right here. You will be a witness to me on the other side of the planet. Because he told us in Luke 20 or 21 that we were going to get scattered to the four corners of the earth. He said it. You've got to understand all of this, okay? So this is telling you that we would be in America, we would be in South America, that we would be in Canada, we would be on the opposite side of the planet. We would be all over the earth, but this is talking about this side of the planet, the fourth part of the earth. Okay, so look, let's go back. I'm going to read it again. He hath not dealt so with any other nation. They don't have the ability to break down the precepts, yet they're the ones that told you everything about the Bible. So it's the same race of people that told you all about the Bible, and then the same race of people is telling you about the Antichrist, that they want to bring it about. How is that possible? You got to see this, bro, because I'm going to pull up. Look, I'm going to pull up. Where is, here we go. So look, Billy Graham, right? He was a Freemason. Okay.
I get excited about the Subaru Share the Love.
They may not even know the name of Jesus. Calling people for
and this was And this was Billy Graham's whole thing, was to get a whole world of people listening to him, and then to change the gospel message up, even from what Renaissance Western Christianity is, which is already messed up, and even change that up. And the scriptures tell you, heed not a man that is subject to change, or don't follow them who are subject to change. Look at these Edomites, man.
Symbology there and all of the ancient mystery religion.
Let me see. Hold on. Okay, look.
On that knuckle. Clearly,
Look.
Pope.
Look at this.
Handshake. He is a known Freemason. Truman.
Hold on.
And Billy.
Hold on.
The day that he was inaugurated or made Pope, I was preaching in his cathedral in Krakow. I was his guest.
Did y'all know he was a high-ranking Freemason?
So I want to ask the question: if the prophet Daniel didn't have best friends that were witches and Chaldeans in the government that he was a captive in, when he was interpreting the dreams and the handwriting on the wall in Babylon, if King David didn't have best friends in other nationalities, if any of the prophets, Elijah, Elisha, none of them were friends. Remember when Elijah killed the 400 prophets of Baal? How come he didn't have a best friend amongst them? You don't see this in the scriptures. You don't see men of the Lord teaming up with men who are in the occult. Yet this is what you see Billy Graham doing, and Billy Graham was famous for being this amazing white Christian man, right?
This is Billy Graham.
It's all bullshit.
Look at his handshake. He is a known Freemason. Truman. And Billy Graham is what's known, Mother says he's the Protestant Pope. And that's exactly what he is. Look at that. As a young man, and that pressure on that knuckle. Clearly a Masonic handshake. In addition to that, he puts the hand over his chest as a sign of respect. You can read about this in The Deadly Deception. They actually had to take Billy Graham's name out of this in order for this to get published. So Jim Shaw, former high-level Freemason, says that Billy Graham was at a 33rd degree ceremony. That means he is a high-level Freemason. Billy Graham only got to his position because he had support. William Randolph Hearst, the media mogul. If you've ever been to that Hearst Castle, it is fantastic as far as the opulence and money that it took to build that Hearst Castle. There's also a lot of occult symbology there and all of the ancient mystery religion embedded into that architecture.
That's crazy work. But check this out.
Tell me, what do you think is the future of Christianity? Well, Christianity and being a true believer, I think there's the body of Christ, which comes from all the Christian groups around the world, or outside the Christian groups. I think everybody that loves Christ or knows Christ, whether they're conscious of it or not, they're members of the body of Christ.
So now you can unconsciously, you see how fucked up it is, right? But people listen to him. Why? Because he's white. And because of their position in the earth, and because of the mark of Cain, right? With a supernatural covering that's on them, that no matter what they fucking do, no one judges this race of people. Everybody else on the planet Earth will judge the Middle Eastern people. They'll for sure judge black people, so-called black people. They will for sure judge so-called Latino people, but people don't judge the white man. The white man can do no wrong. Why? Because they have supernatural covering on them that is protecting them in their position of power as they deceive the earth, because they have to fulfill prophecy. Prophecy, in many ways, listen to what I'm trying to say. Prophecy is on their side, meaning helping them deceive the planet. Only the elect, bro, is gonna not follow these people, bro. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else is under some fucking version of a lie that the so-called white man is told. They think the Antichrist is going to be a half man, half Nephilim. They rather than giving credit to what so-called white people have done as far as wickedness, they say it's a bunch of reptilians. People fucking actually believe there is a race of snake people on the earth doing all the bad shit, rather than just saying it's the fucking white man, bro. They cannot bring themselves to understand that all the shit that's bad that's happening on earth is because of the fucking Edomites. It's reptilians, or it's the Nephilim, it's the fallen angels. It's never the so-called white man. So I was pulling that up to show you. Now I want to show you this fucking. Look at this. Look at all these.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth
And Billy Graham was close as fuck with this guy, and this guy is a bonesman. He's also a Freemason, and he's a skull and bonesman, which is what? What's a skull and crossbones? It's a symbol for pirates. And what are pirates? Pirates are fucking thieves. And Esau is called the house of the thief.
objective. A new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from
What do you see? You see white people. You see Edomites. You see, this is not a one, look, man, let's read it again. Let's get it. Little children, this is John, 1 John 2, little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we shall know that it is the last time. Right? This is the man of sin being revealed. The man of sin is a race of sin. It's a rulership of sin, a race of sin. It's not one guy that's going to rise up, okay, and then take control of the earth. That's not how this works, man. That's not at all how this works. You got the 13 families that are in control. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there coming a falling away first. This is talking about 70 AD. This is not talking about Western Renaissance Christianity in America right now. The falling away has already taken place, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This is what they did when they changed the image of Yahushua to Jesus, to Yahweh, to Jehovah. When they went around the earth telling the world their version of the Bible, they put a so-called white image of God in the minds of the planet. They are the biblical Edomites. Look what they're doing. You should know them by their fucking fruit.
A world where the United Nations...
Who are all these people? Oh, they're just the government. Yeah, those are Edomites. Just casually listening to this guy speak a speech out about the New World Order, while guys like Billy Graham, who look just like them, who are just like these people, are telling the world to believe in a white Jesus. Everything white, 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 white. Putting themselves as God in the temple of God.
Freed from Cold War...
Anytime they mention a man from another nation or another race, he's always bad. They're going to mention Gaddafi once, and they're going to mention another guy once, but it's always in a negative light. Every other race of man on planet Earth is bad, but this man. How is that? How do you guys not see? And these are the only people talking about the New World Order. The other guys that they're saying are bad are not talking about a new world. In fact, they killed Gaddafi because he was trying to put Africa back on the gold standard, which would have offset this. That's why they murdered him. But they made him look like a bad guy. Oh, he's a bad guy. No, he wasn't, bro.
Stalemate is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders. And that's why I wanted to speak to you today about the new world taking shape around us, about the prospects for a new world order now within our reach. In the coming weeks...
How come Billy Graham never confronted him on the New World Order? How come Billy Graham never said anything about the New World Order? Why are you talking about that? Exactly, bro.
I'll be talking in some detail about the possibility of a new world order emerging after the Cold War. But today, I want to discuss another aspect of that order. You see, as the Cold War drew to an end, we saw the possibilities of a new order in which nations work together. It refers to new ways of working with other nations to deter aggression and to achieve stability. As old threats recede, new threats emerge. The quest for the new world order is in part a challenge to keep the dangers of disorder at bay. We must build on the successes of Desert Storm to give new shape and momentum to this new world order. Only when this transformation is complete will we be able to take full measure of the opportunities presented by this new and evolving world order. The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities. This order gains its mission and shape not just from shared interests, but from shared ideals.
The President George Bush has talked time and time again about the new world order, and this is the best chance to begin to establish the new world order. And that's why the stakes...
See, you won't see any of these Edomites speak against it. You won't see any of the high-ranking Christian leaders speak against these people speaking against it. Why? Because they are the man of sin. The man of sin is talking about a race of people. It's not talking about an individual.
So high.
From 1945 and the end of the war through 1989 and the end of the Cold War, we had a worldview. Republican and Democratic presidents alike.
How many wars have they been involved in? But these are a great group of people. He just said he just spanned like 40 years, 30 years, talking about this war and that war. Like it was no big deal. It's just what we got to do. But we're still the best race of people on the planet Earth. And everybody has to listen to what we say. That shit's name another race of people that can do the shit these people do, bro. These people are the man of sin, man.
From Harry Truman to George Bush, stood for freedom and stood for certain propositions that would make America strong and healthy and growing.
And no other race, no other nation on the planet Earth has ever challenged or been a threat to the quote-unquote freedom of America. The freedom they're talking about is code for freedom from the Most High, freedom from His laws. That's what they mean. Our dumbasses are like, yeah, I'm in a free country, like if every other country is in prison or something. That was a deceptive lie, bro, that we fell for. What the fuck? Basically what they're telling us, we got to go around the world knocking them out, beating them up, which the Bible says Babylon was a golden cup in the hand of Yahweh, proving that it's a so-called white man. We got to go around stealing everybody's resources so that you guys can be free. The fuck out of here, bro. Because that's what they've been doing this whole time. We have not ever had our freedoms threatened by anyone, bro. The only person threatening anybody's freedom is the people you see on the screen.
The middle class and shrink poverty and stand against communism. And after 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order. And instead, it looks like we got a lot of disorder. And we still, and after 9/11, we've been more sensitive.
But it is the awareness itself that will drive the change. And one of the ways it will drive the change is through global governance and global agreements.
Now, much has been said by the Secretary of State and others about a new world order.
Jim Carrey is another bonesman. He's another skull and crossbonesman. He's another man that is a high-ranking Edomite that carries himself, oh, I'm so sweet, I'm so nice, look at me. My beard is shaved, my hair is cut short, I don't cuss, I speak softly. But one of his symbolisms is a thief. That's what piracy is, it's a thief. So he is associated with that group of Edomites that wears the banner of the pirate, which is the thief, and these guys are untouchable. But they're so good, right? They're so righteous. Get the fuck out of here, man.
About a defining moment in history. I have no doubt about the potential of this moment to be defining in terms of history. But that definition can be negative as well as positive. And how negative or positive it will be will depend on what kind of new world order we really create. Can it truly be said that the United States of America, trading off better treatment to China for an abstention on a vote, cozying up to Syria with its record of support for terrorism, or making promises to other countries in exchange for a hold your coat, you go ahead and take the risks and casualties endorsement, can it truly be said that these create a new world order? Can it really be said that we're building a new world order when it's almost exclusively the United States who will be fighting in the desert? Not alone, but almost. Displaying pride and impatience and implementing what essentially amounts to a Pax Americana. Is that a new world order? Can it really be said that this is a true new world order when it lacks a true United Nations collective security effort with the full measure of international cooperation and burden sharing which that should carry?
With the end of the Cold War, Henry Kissinger pointed out in his superb book on diplomacy, he said, none of the most important countries which must build a new world order have had any experience with the multi-state system that is emerging. Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale. Nor has any previous order had to combine the attributes of the historic balance of power system with global democratic opinion and the exploding technology of the contemporary period. That was written in 1994, and it may be even more relevant today.
As I've told you before, because I love it so much, they also created the Great Seal of the United States. And that Great Seal of the United States has on it, Novus Order Seclorum, a new order for the centuries, for the ages, forever.
And when was that seal established or made? It was drawn up and put on the money or in rotation like 1776. What were we doing in 1776, you guys? We were in the height of our fucking captivity to these people, fulfilling prophecy as slaves to these motherfuckers, bro. Absolutely no power. Now, there was a group of our people that Esau very cunningly put to the side to create the Boule. He began teaching them his low-level secrets on the left-hand side because he understood that he would need to use our people to help mislead and govern us. And that's where you get your fucking Bill Cosbys and your Michael Jordans, even Michael Jackson, all those motherfuckers. you got our people who have talent, but they're sold out to the left-hand side. Even Prince, motherfuckers like NWA, all that shit, Martin Luther King, those of our people that were in slavery, that were in the house, or being educated to become servants to Esau. You know what I mean? You can find it in the Maccabees, making a covenant with the heathen. That's what they were doing, and they were educating that small group of Hebrew Israelites that were slaves in their schools, in their left-handed schools, so that they could position them on the television, so it would give the appearance that, hey, once slavery was over, look, you can make it if you just try hard. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at Martin Luther King. Why don't you be like him? Those motherfuckers are all sold out agents, man. But I'm bringing up the fact that you got to see how this whole thing, we have no say in this shit, man. These people have been preparing and moving forward in this direction for a long, long time. And for you guys to think that there's one individual half-fallen man, half-fallen angel, half-man that's going to rise up, which that can't even exist genetically. There's no such thing as a half-angel, half-man person. And there's no such thing as reptilian people. That's all bullshit. It's just fables. The people who are running the earth and the people who are the man of sin are the people that you see on the screen right now. The so-called white man who are the biblical Edomites.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
During the conflict with Saddam Hussein, which he handled so superbly in a short-term sense, but he kept talking about a new world order. And then President Bush, at the end of that war, promised he would give 4 graduation addresses, 4 commencement addresses, describing that new world order and what America's role was going to be in it. Turned out he gave one of those addresses and canceled the other 3 and talked about something else. That's what, because they weren't.
And this present window of opportunity, during which a truly peaceful.
I believe that's David Rockefeller right there. That's one of the heads of one of the head elite families right there. I know that they were over America. I believe that's him before he died.
An interdependent world order might be built. Will not be here.
Yeah, it's David Rockefeller. You can see the name right there, David Rockefeller. Well, the actual Rockefeller. That's one of the real ones right there.
For too long.
You believe deeply in your system, and we believe just as deeply in our system. It is not our common beliefs that have brought us together here, but our common interests and our common hopes. The interest that each of us has to maintain our independence and the security of our peoples, and the hope that each of us has to build a new world order in which nations and peoples with different systems and different values can live together in peace, respecting one another while disagreeing with one another, letting history rather than the battlefield be the judge.
It's past the point of talking.
This is one of the Rothschilds. This guy doesn't even look how he's dressed. He's just casually dressed, right? But yet he's speaking on world movements and shit because he's a member of the Rothschild family.
We know historically that the
They don't even call him by his first fucking name. He's just Rothschild.
Governance the sort of agenda to these issues is very hard to try and is with all the best intentions, it's very hard to actually activate. We're seeing that right now. We're seeing a lot of fragmentation going on in Copenhagen, a lot of different agendas pulling in different directions. And
the closest we came to the dream was when we were doing THX and everybody was writing their scripts. Everybody was hanging.
And this is a movie producer. I can't remember what his name is. But he's up there with fucking Steven Spielberg and the rest of them.
Out at the pool table drinking cappuccinos and waxing philosophically about the New World Order and everything.
Type 1 civilization is a connected civilization, a single global culture, a single global language, global communication, global politics. We see this beginning now. We see it emerging all around us. The European countries are binding together slowly, forming the EU. NAFTA has been formed in North America. Eventually, we will see the rise of a single world government. We will see a single economy.
2009 is also the first year of global governance, with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis. The climate conference in Copenhagen is another step towards the global management of our planet. Our mission, our presidency, is one of hope, supported by acts and by deeds.
Leaders come together and establish a framework for global governance, not a world government, but sensible governance. If these measures are enacted and we continue to move forward with the G20 process, we will have the kind of global governance that is necessary to ensure the stability and transparency of markets in a way that gives us the benefits of a globalized market economy without the enormous risks that
standing there with my people, they were bombed, and I was just targeted like them, and as elected president, official in charge of their protection, I couldn't do anything about it. But the point here is, it's not about me, it's about the idea of freedom. It's about the future of the whole region. It's about the future of Europe and a new world order.
The transatlantic partnership was never just the foundation of our security. It was the foundation of our way of life. It was forged in experience of the most bitter and anguished kind. Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new consensus as to how life should and could be lived. The pieces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us.
I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation. We have resolved that from today we will together manage the process of globalization to secure responsibility from all and fairness to all. And we've agreed that in doing so, we will build a more sustainable and more open and a fairer global society. All these new challenges are bringing together about the biggest restructuring we have ever seen, not just of the global economy, but of the global order as a whole. And 200 years ago, a famous British Foreign Secretary said that the new world had been called into existence to redress the balance of the old. In 1990, another old world ended, dominated by the Cold War, and people talked then, in 1990, of a new world order. What they actually meant then was a new political order. And what was not foreseen then, but is obvious now from everything that we see and do, what we experience in every day of our life, is the sheer scale and speed and scope of globalization. And it's only now that we can begin to understand that the world order that globalization brings and what it's going to look like, it's driven forward now not just by the balance of military strength, the Cold War times, or ordinary political power. It's being driven forward by a seismic shift in economic power that we see around us. But what does the new world order mean for countries like ours who are looking to succeed? I suggest that the countries that are going to succeed are those that combine flexibility, free trade, open markets, with proper stewardship of the environment and investment in education, infrastructure and innovation. And the question for us is how we meet and master all these challenges to ensure that Britain enhances its competitiveness in the process and realizes what I believe is our destiny of success in this new world order. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen,
So what do you see? You see a consistent 20-minute feed of Edomites all over the place talking about this new world order, right? Which lines up with the man of sin being revealed, which it's showing you who it is. Look, see how it's written? Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there coming a falling away first, and the man of sin be revealed. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Look, it's written the same way in Isaiah 14. When it says Lucifer, Lucifer sounds like a singular description of one person, when in fact it's talking about a body of rulers and a race of people. Dang it, it was brain farting. Isaiah 14, verse 12. Verse 12, look. So, how art thou fallen from heaven? This is Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? It sounds like it's speaking to one individual, right? No. This is a dark saying. This requires, for one, you got to be a seed line Hebrew Israelite. 2, you got to be chosen by Yahweh Shai to even get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of this. And you also got to be listening to the prophets. Also break this stuff down. The elders and the apostles of the great millstone, right? There's a couple of factors involved in this, but once you start to see it, I was like, oh, wait, this does make sense. Look, Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Okay, so what does fallen from heaven mean? See, people in Christianity think this is talking about Satan, the prince of evil spirits, falling from where the Most High is. No, this heaven is talking about rulership on the earth. How can we prove this? Remember, the Bible interprets itself. You got to go to Lamentations. Look, Lamentations 2. Look at this. So now, because this proves our point. Lamentations 2. I'm just going to say verse 1. Look, Lamentations 2:1. This is talking about when Israel fell and went into captivity. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion? See, it's more speech. Is this talking about a girl? See, notice how it's singular? No, it's talking about the men, the rulership, the prophets, the orators, the captains of 50, the captains of 100, the elders, the prophets of Israel. That's who the daughter of Zion is, because he likens the daughter of Zion to a comely woman. Just like when Yahweh Shai, as King Solomon, is speaking about the wisdom of his father, he describes the wisdom of his father as a beautiful woman. It's all poetic, dark speech. You got to understand how to rightfully divide the word of power, the word of God. When it comes to this, you have to know when to open this up and when not to. Lamentations 2:1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. So we fell from heaven because at one time we were in the position of rulership. When was this? During King David and King Solomon's era. They were the Israelites were at the top on the earth. Everybody was coming. After King David whooped everyone's ass, everybody was coming to listen to his son, Solomon, the son of David, speak his wisdom. And the Most High gave Solomon rest on all sides, and all of the enemies of Israel, the earth, they were subdued, and they were coming to behold the glory of Yahushua, of Solomon, and listen to his wisdom and give him tithes. That's going to be happening in the future. But you see right here, how hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with the cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel. So the beauty of Israel was cast down to the earth, just like Lucifer conveniently will be cast down to the earth in the future. And just like you see, the daughter of Zion is a singular description for a group of men and women, so is Lucifer a singular description for a group of men and women. And they're all in the same race. And just like the daughter of Zion was the same race of people, this is the same race of people. This is the man of sin, you guys. Isaiah 14:12. It's very easy. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will ascend into rulership on the earth. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. That's the true Israelites. This is your controversy of Zion. This is your 1948 state of Israel. This is them calling themselves the Jews and calling us black and Latin and Native Americans. That's what this is. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation, the sides of the north, and this is talking about America. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And how do they do this? With all their predictive programming in Hollywood. When they show you things in movies, they don't explain, and then those things carry out in the public. How many times did you see movies and videos and rock stars with 9/11 on their fucking shirt or on their album cover, or 9/11 in the fucking movie or cartoon, right? And then 9/11 happened. That's them attempting to make themselves look like the Most High by doing shit like this. It's everything in the scriptures explains Esau, Edom. Everything in the scriptures explains the nations. Everything in the scriptures explains the Hebrew Israelites. Because everything on earth is governed by prophecy, you guys.
Conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges for the future. But today, with Asia already outproducing Europe, India and China are clearly becoming part of our new order.
So you see it. There's more. There's about 5 more minutes left. I'm going to cut it short on that. But you see it. The man of sin, the many antichrists, you are seeing them right there. It's talking about this race of people. The Antichrist is not one individual, you guys. It's a group of people. Just like Lucifer is a group of people, just like the daughter of Zion is a group of people. And just like the daughter of Zion is a group of people in a race of people, Lucifer is a group of people in a race of people, and the man of sin is also that same group of people in that same race of people. You have to understand that. You have to be edified. Okay, you got to understand it. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. It's 1 John 2:18. I pray that this lesson was edified. I want to give edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and in Shalom to the hopefully elect 144,000 chosen, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is who is Yahushai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.